Broadcasting Communication.
Hey.
My boy JBoi.
Yeah, what's going on, man? You know, what's up, man? It's JBoi here in the Illuminati zone.
And we got Valencia. Oh, you got another name like the Beat Spot?
Yeah, that was from another lifetime. It's just Valencia, and I'm glad to be here.
How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good. I'm doing real good.
Same here.
How you doing?
I'm straight. I'm glad we here. I'm waiting to see what the reception gonna be and see how far we can take this.
We got a little buzz when we put the picture out. So I mean, when people hit me up, they're like, "How'd y'all come together?"
Mm-hmm. And what's going on?
What's going? Like, what can we do to get out? Like, I got like a couple people that's like, we need to be talked to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know, you gotta do something to get ask them on. Like, this ain't one of those things that just because you say you gotta be on, you need to be on. So,
and I know Valencia is a very popular person, very popular personality, and people want to sit down.
Sure.
The legendary.
Some good, some bad.
They feel like you guys have the connections.
Hey,
I might. I might not.
That's the game to be sold, not told.
So we want to open it up by obviously talking about our city and the local talent and news that we have here
within the past, since about the past year and a half.
And one of them is beloved rapper. He's gone too soon. Way too soon.
Like, he was definitely one. Like, as far as in the San Antonio community, like, Duke rap his ass off. Chris P. For those that don't know who we're talking about Chris Paul, Ape Life. He came out the game. He came out just like literally swinging ape shit, and just the music matched his sound and his look. Although he was a very short dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I met him, I'm like, he's kind of short.
But he about 5'4".
Yeah, on a good day. But I mean, he got real big. Like, the music spoke for itself. The thing that happened though, like what really catapulted him was when the whole incident. Somebody brought comedian / rapper, whatever, to Ice Lounge. 22 Savage. Somebody in the crowd yanked his chain. Chris P got a hold of the chain, and he
supposedly paid $1,200.
Yeah, so he paid some money for the chain, and then like he went on this whole thing on Instagram, making it like he did it, or not that he did it, but like he got the chain, and if they wanted the chain, it was gonna be 10 racks or 20 racks to get it back. And then it got big with somebody out in Baton Rouge, named Travis James.
Yeah.
And it got real ugly. Like, they had people from Baton Rouge going to his auntie house, and it got bad. And then everything settled down. Like, I mean, he had some incidents with some other local artists in the city. But then, like months later, as he's leaving Ice Lounge from doing a show, he got assassinated on the highway.
Yeah.
P Hill got one time in the hand. I think there 5 shots to the car, 3 to the chest, 2 to the side, one bullet pierced P Hill's hand.
Yeah,
because he grabbed the steering wheel to steer them off the road. That's an assassination.
My introduction to Chris P. He had, like many people, sent me a friend request. He was with a group. Well, the little label was BDS, and he would send me some songs. Well, then I went away on vacation and come back, and they had the Ape Life movement going. And, we would always chop it up and talk. And then when he sent me his Ape Life 2, and he had a song with, he did the little remix, Trap Life 3 with Gucci Man. I don't know if it's called Trap Life, but Trap House. Anyways, now I was like, man, that's jamming, So I got him on the show on his birthday.
Wow.
And ever since then we had connected. So I would always, talk to him. When I first started doing at the One, he was one of my first interviews. And we had a connection. So when that happened, and I got the news, we had just been, messing around online a couple days prior to that, probably about 3 days prior to that. I didn't think it was going to affect me the way that it did, but I cried.
I hit you in the morning. The morning, I saw everybody talk about Chris Paul. I was like, I hit you right away because you made a post, and I was like, bro, are you serious? Yeah. And it you could literally feel the in San Antonio, even though he had issues with other people, but you knew he had that stardom.
Yeah.
He had that. I'm not gonna say he had the it factor, but he had something.
Yeah.
And it was a big blow to the city.
I think he had the it factor. He could rap. He had good production. He had great songs. He had the feature with Kevin Gates. He had the feature with Mo 3. I think he had everything that it took. He looked like a rapper. Yeah. He carried himself as a rapper. And even though
he made the right moves.
Yeah, even though I don't think the 2 incidents with the chain and the shooting was connected.
Nah.
The only issue I had was I would tell him all the time, you have to separate the streets from the music.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that.
Yeah.
And that I think that was ultimately his demise. I mean, he kept too much. He kept himself way too much in the streets.
Yeah.
At some point, if you start making a little bit of money off the music, that's when you got to start leaning yourself away from that, because as we've seen, I mean, there's big artists now. They try to put on that same gimmick and that same issue, and now they're going through a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and even another artist in the city, MG Vaughn. I know that they didn't have a great relationship,
mm-hmm.
but MG Vaughn, he had a good mixtape, a very he could spit, he just beat the murder, he beat his charges.
Yeah.
He had, he came on the scene with the arrest for a murder charge,
advertising his
mixtape.
Yeah,
right.
On the Run, On the Run 2 or
On the Run 1.
Yeah,
On the Run 1, and it was, we hadn't seen nothing like that in this city that I know of.
Definitely not.
Something, that's something you see somewhere else, and
in Louisiana or some
he
Florida
was saying,
shit.
He was saying that he felt that the cops and the news team they kind of get in your face and they try to demoralize a lot of the artists. So he wanted to do something that would kind of shift the attention. And he's like, I should have been better prepared. But at least he, said that his mixtape was available or coming out.
Yeah,
and he just kind of shifted what was going on. But I'm glad that everything worked out.
And surprisingly, well, I ain't gonna say surprisingly, it got picked up on a lot of media outlets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the going back to the Chris P situation, that got picked up on a lot of media outlets too.
Say cheese.
So that exposure for MG Vaughn helped him out, down the road, and he beat that charge, and we are waiting on to see what happens with this federal charge that he has, and hopefully the music, takes him where he wants to go. He said it's his ticket out, so we're gonna see what happens.
Definitely, much hope. I hope that can help for him, because I never want to see anybody get locked up in the system like that. I mean, that it's a fucked up system. Music, if that's your ticket out, put your all into it. If that's really what you want, you're in charge of your own destiny. That's all. It's always something that's been said. You're in charge of your own destiny. So if that's what you really want, you actually got to put the action behind your words.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wish him the best, sincerely.
We had another artist that recently got signed.
Yeah.
Blowing up. Seems like it came out of nowhere.
Right.
But apparently, he had been on the scene. An artist by the name of Blake.
Yeah.
Blake, he signed with Atlantic Records. He managed by Lil J. Lil J used to, for those that don't know, Lil J he's done PR work he was PR for Logic.
Yeah.
Logic for a very long time. He started off he was hustling tickets with Score More.
Yeah.
So I mean, and how he got on with and we'll talk to Blake when or we'll talk to Lil J when Lil J can come on. I've talked to him already plenty of times, so he said he's down to talk.
That's good.
So I'd love to get more of a story from him, but just from things he hustled tickets for Score More, Logic like what he did, and he said, finish school, and you get a job.
Yeah.
So then he brought him on, made him his PR. He did his damn thing, and he saw Blake. Blake at the time was doing work with another local artist in San Antonio, and he said he inboxed him and said, "Hey, he's like, I want to help you. I can make you a star." And from that point on, like, it was just him and Blake. And then Blake, first thing he did for Blake before he got him signed, he got him a deal between Nike and Foot Action. Mm-hmm. And they went out to LA, shot this big photo shoot, got all these shoes. And like, he was like, Foot Action put a big press run. If you went to any Foot Action in San Antonio, you saw Blake's picture all over the walls. He had his own little shoe area thing. Like, I know him and ASAP, or not ASAP, YFN, somebody, one of them New York cats, they got this whole little debate going back and forth talking about who brought back Air Force Ones.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So, like, that, I know they got a big thing going on right now. But, I mean, definitely shout out to Blake. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's been a lot of critics.
Of course.
You know, some people are for him. I personally like the music. It's not, I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, I like the work that he's doing. I like the work Lil J's doing with him. And, I mean, Lil J, I like what they, like, the little movements going on.
As a former radio personality, have you heard his music?
I have.
Yeah, how you feel about it?
I think he has the potential. I really do. I think he, I mean, of course, this is just my personal opinion. I think production could be better.
Yeah.
But it takes a minute. And once he naps that right beat and that right sound, I guess is really what I'm looking for. The right sound, I think it can catapult him. And I'm hoping that he can do it because he is from San Antonio by way of Beaumont or wherever he's really from. Yeah. But he's from San Antonio. Yeah. I'll claim him. You know?
I know he's got a project that he's been working on that I've heard a couple songs. I went and sat in the studio with Ace One and Polygraphic. He's got a whole project that he's working on with them. So.
Good. I think he's going to do good, and he has a good
I think when he gets that album out, I think you're going to hear a different sound because Ace and Poly they push you to the limit.
Well, I think most importantly, I mean, it's just marketing, you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, think about one of the #1 hits back in the 90s or whatever. Whoop, there it is. I mean, at one point, you got to have the right look. I mean, like Beyonce does, you have to have the right sound. And if you have the right team around you, they can open those doors for you. You can be #1.
And the crazy part is everything he's got going on right now is without Atlantic doing anything for him yet. So I mean, he's made this big of a push and this big of a buzz, getting millions of streams on YouTube and like everywhere. And it's just still right now without Atlantic even putting any money behind him yet. Crazy. So it's like she said, it's gonna take once he gets that one song and Atlantic hears it, they'll be like, all right. Go.
Put a lot of money behind him. But right now he's just doing his, you know, it's kind of like what is it, like your prerequisites? He's gonna be.
I mean, this is his first mixtape too, though.
Yeah.
So that, like he never he you know what I'm saying, he had never dropped an actual full project. He, you know what I'm saying, just single here, single there, single here, single there. So for him to actually get a deal off of just releasing singles here and there with no actual project on hand.
He's going to do well.
You got to get some kind of chance.
And he's very remarkable, too.
He's very remarkable.
He's got the look. Yeah, that look.
You need the look because as someone who would manage someone else, I want to make sure I'm going to make money off of you from the female women running, period. So, I mean, if I can have you sell some cologne and I can buy it and have my man smell like Blake, I mean, right there.
I don't want to smell like Blake.
Yeah. Hey, but your girl might want you to. Hey, so you don't know.
we had another artist who at one point in time, you know, everybody in the city felt like they could have been big. They was with a group that was doing some things. At the time, they was featured in XXL magazine.
They getting a lot of traction. They were on the Source as a Source magazine.
Source magazine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Third Degree.
Big Live Ola.
Yeah, Live Ola.
Northside Live.
Was
all them drops it, man. That man.
I interviewed them a long time ago, but they were talented then.
He was incarcerated a little more than 10 years ago.
Ridiculous, right?
And recently came home, and you know,
he's got the internet on fire right now.
Yeah, was welcomed with open arms. Yeah, and so
I ain't gonna lie, it was good to see him and Kyle back on good graces. You know what I'm saying? Like. It was because like towards before he went in, like it was sketchy. You know what I'm saying? Kyle was still Third Degree. Live was, you know, say he had left Third Degree on some bad terms or whatever. So it was they weren't on good terms. But you know, what I'm saying apparently, you know, what I'm saying Kyle was, you know, what I'm saying a man with thing like hitting him from the day he went in, and he rolled with him the whole time. So you know, what I'm saying, and seeing them out now, like seeing them back in, like they're both in the studio. I know I've heard some of the songs, like Live's been doing little live streams, and you could hear some of the songs. It doesn't sound like he's missed it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
it doesn't sound dated.
Yeah, because sometimes you go in at 17, you come out at 17.
You gotta think about it. Like he went in not with a great big, like, I mean, he had local buzz.
Right.
Like, you know, if you local and then you go away for 10 years, you come back, what are you going, like?
True.
He came out and it doesn't sound like he's missed a beat.
I love that.
So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he's got going. I mean, I know he's got his first show January 3rd. Him and Kyle. And it's gonna be Versace Boys. Versace Boys are bringing them out at Fitzgerald's.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. We definitely have to support.
Speaking of the Versace Boys, they had made the news also under the guise of the biggest San Antonio Hispanic gang or whatever they say on TMZ. Well, they made TMZ from beefing with 6ix9ine. They had banned.
So they gave Tekashi 6ix9ine a no-fly zone. A no-fly zone.
And he flew anyway.
Right.
So what happened was he actually didn't fly in. Like Toy had actually went up to Dallas and picked him up and drove him down here.
Okay.
So they had So like they thought they had the intel that he was flying in, so they were gonna act like they're gonna be at the airport. Got busted by the police sitting out front of the airport,
riding around the airport, going live.
Like y'all asked for that one,
making threats.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, like the airspace, like they have like this, that they got that so controlled over there.
Of course.
They're listening to all the airwaves. So if you making any kind of threat, talking about you in their area,
you can forget about it.
And they rode their little buzz. Shot another video with fuck 6ix9ine, bandanas on their face, and I don't think that Tekashi cared about them.
You don't think so?
Nah, I think he addressed it like once. The dude's like talking to them. They cool people. Yeah. They're cool people. Yeah, but
if your name don't get mentioned, then it's almost pointless. Yeah. They even they had like another video came out where they were saying that his chain had got snatched, but he had got it back. So they were showing some footage that I think they were trying to take credit for.
But do you think it may not have created like the international and national buzz that they wanted, but do you think in San Antonio it created just something, you know what I mean? Because San Antonio...
They got like I think their side of town.
Okay.
It's definitely buzzing for them. It's
giving them... So it may have... that's my point right there. So it may have worked. They may have got what they wanted,
They got me to listen to a couple of songs, about 3 of them. I got about 3 in, and I decided I didn't like it. For me.
Okay.
But speaking of 6ix9ine, like I said, when we were talking about MG Vaughn and them like dealing with these charges and getting caught up on the internet. Yeah. 6ix9ine currently right now is federally indicted. On RICO charges stemming from, honestly, I think it's him really just running his mouth online.
Well, they claim.
And really wasn't. But I seen a video today that the police released to TMZ, like showing him getting out the truck, videotaping Treyway. So allegedly, the video to me didn't show enough to that he was videotaping Treyway robbing. Like it doesn't show Treyway actually robbing somebody. Okay. Now what they're saying though is that from that video stemming from that robbery at that time and like where they were at. The robbery that was reported, the backpack that the person came up missing popped up at Tekashi's house when they did the raid. But the thing is, like, when they did the raid, because they did the raid before they actually brought charges on him. Like, they did the raid about a month or 2 before at his house. But at the same time, Tekashi even said, he's like, I ain't been at that house in months. He's like, I was in the process of moving out. Not saying the backpack could have been planned. It could have most definitely, but it doesn't mean who. Because clearly, he wasn't around a lot of the right people.
Gun too.
Yeah, they found a gun.
Yeah.
So I mean,
maybe
but the thing is,
maybe
good and possible.
And you got to be careful who you hang with, for real.
And I think what happened was he started finding out the people that he was around were actually about to make moves on him, because like apparently like days before, like, because literally what was it, the day or two before, he had just went on social media and like fired everybody.
Yeah.
And I think he did that because if you see the Breakfast Club
interview, yeah.
Well, prior to the Breakfast Club interview, where they had the meeting at the court.
Yeah.
And they was meeting with the label heads, the company that
was trying to get him.
That's over him, William Morris or whatever it is. They had a business meeting at a restaurant, and Treyway was trying to come. They ended up getting to it with the people, and one of the Treyway members that got shot. One of the security members shot one of the Treyway members. Okay. So that was an issue, and I think he started seeing that they was becoming part of the problem. Like they was probably going to be interfering with his money.
Right.
His
and then he saw like apparently people were making bookings that he wasn't getting paid proper money for.
Yeah.
Right.
And like he's like, people are saying like they paid like millions of dollars, or like they're paying like
it might have been $500,000.
Yeah.
And he was getting $150,000.
Well, see, and that's okay. So that kind of goes back to the old school thing that Oprah and Bill Cosby said. Like, you sign your own checks.
Yeah.
You sign your own checks. You have to stay on top of it, because you're going to, once you get to a certain level, that's why you see a lot of artists drop their management when they get to a certain level, because your local friends can only take you so far. Unless they're reading and hanging out with the right people.
And they're actually educating themselves.
Exactly.
And making better.
So they're going to start skimming off the top, because they know you're going to book. You're going to take,
especially when you get so much money, you're not counting every dollar.
Exactly.
You know? When you start getting millions, like, he ain't gonna miss this couple $1,000. He ain't gonna miss this couple $1,000.
But I'm gonna tell you, it has not happened to Oprah. And Oprah's a billionaire, so you should always take time to count your money.
I remember Treyway had made a video where he was calling the bank and it was reporting how much money he had in the bank, and it was like millions of dollars. Yeah. And they were saying that when Tekashi got arrested, that he only had like $1 million and something. And even though that's a lot of money,
it's not
he probably should have had more than,
especially if you 10 for 10 on Billboard #1 hits. You should have a little more than $1 million.
But that's the same premise. Like, you see these NFL and NBA players. They're great at sports, but they're horrible at finances.
Yeah.
So they hurt their knee or their hamstring or whatever, and they out for a season, and then they're a bum on the street. It's like, what you doing?
How did you feel about the music?
I ain't gonna lie. Gummo's beat was fire.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of his production's amazing. Let me put it that way. His production is amazing. There's some of the songs that are catchy to me. You know what I'm saying? I won't lie. There's some of the songs.
I got the album downloaded on my phone.
I got the album on my phone. It's on my phone.
So you like it?
Polo might not like it, but
hey, it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that he don't understand music. Nobody else understands music. I understand why people like it. I like it because I like Onyx growing up. So
it sounds a lot like
I like the crunk sounds.
Right.
I like that type of music.
It definitely gives you, like, when I'm in the gym, like, I'll listen to that.
So it pumps you up.
It pumps you up. Like, he's like, it's just that rage.
Right.
It's rage rap.
Yeah, it's not appealing to me.
But I like his personality too.
He's a troll.
Yeah, with the drama and everything, he has great interviews.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, his interviews are very, like, he can talk.
Yeah.
He actually can talk and do interviews and actually be.
My favorite one was the Angel Martinez interview.
I did not see it. So
he was like,
tell me about it.
Have you heard of Vic Mensa? Who knows the Vic Mensa song? And nobody knew it. It's just that humor, it's just that, and he said it himself, he said, man, look, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just at the studio just coming up with stuff. And, just that honesty. He's not trying to be the best rapper or even make the best music. Right. But it's like knowing what to put out there, what the people are going to gravitate to. So.
I like that.
I did like how because his album got pushed back a couple of days, and it was because of people that actually got a hold to actually do to market or to distribute it.
Yeah.
His distribution company changed when he got it, and so the people that put it out, if you actually go in there and listen, like everywhere he normally would say Treyway on the song, they took Treyway out. Said, you can't say that.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I thought that was pretty cool. A little marketing on that.
And like some of the local artists that we mentioned earlier, like Crispy and MG Vaughn, you know, his music was surrounded by a lot of controversy, and that controversy not only affected him, but it's also affected a well-known, popular media personality, DJ Academics.
Yeah, Academics. I mean, I personally don't like Academics. He's a
JBoi said that like you know him.
I know. I'm like,
I definitely don't know him, but like DJ Academics, like he's very much a jock writer. Like I like. There's nothing about him I like. I've tried even when he was on when he and Joe Budden had Everyday Struggle. Joe Budden clearly was the alpha on that show.
I think Joe Budden has more history. I think I like DJ Academics. One, he reminds me. I don't say reminds me of myself, but I like the path that he paid for himself.
Right.
He didn't take the traditional way into hip hop by having a lot of industry connections.
Right.
You know, he built his brand up, and I checked out some little bios that they did on him. What he did was he had multiple YouTube channels that was basically streamed to one. Okay. And then he had a website. That's his website, latenightcreep.com. And, you know, you go from 0 followers to millions of followers. And again, like we said earlier, they're not signing people based on talent. They're signing people based on, you know, how many followers you got, you know, how much attention you can get.
Yeah, that's right.
And he had that attention, so people started messing with him.
Yeah.
And he also broke a lot of unknown artists. You know, he was talking about Kodak Black. He was talking about XXXTentacion before we really knew who they was. And that kind of propelled them. And that got him to Everyday Struggle.
Right. Yeah. Because he brought that young mentality to it. He brought that
like 26,
yeah.
So
and he'll grow.
Oh yeah, he'll grow. And I mean, I definitely wish. Hopefully, you know, what I'm saying, I never wish anybody bad. So I mean, I hope, you know, saying he definitely he stays successful. I know, like they were trying to say something about, like I heard some, they were talking about he might have been like one of the people that kind of got 6ix9ine caught up. I don't know.
Supposedly they used a clip from his Instagram, and they were trying to say that he was the mole, but TMZ talked to 6ix9ine's lawyer. I mean, not 6ix9ine's lawyer, Shotty's lawyer, which is everybody thinks it's Treyway. And they confirmed that he wasn't, you know, that he had nothing to do with the case. But I think just him, you know, his connection. Yeah. People say he should have never uploaded the video that TMZ had originally uploaded. But the one thing, him not having no media training. Yeah. I think that's how Joe Budden overshadowed him. Right. Yeah. And Joe Budden, you know, was on 97.9. Before he even started rapping. That's right. Yeah, he was a radio personality that went to rap. Before he even started rapping. Yeah. And then his career came full circle. That's right. Back to being a media personality with the...
And now he's probably, I mean, honestly, I mean, he might be one of the...
top.
I think he's annoying, but I mean, I watch him.
So funny.
I watch him all the time because that personality, you know, that you know, I don't want to say he's Wendy Williams or Charlamagne.
But he could be kind of dry too, because I've watched I mean, he's popular and all that, but I've watched him and sometimes it's like I gotta fast forward.
You know what I don't like? He always inserts himself into everything.
Like, if that were me, or like like come on, Joe. Like you old and washed up now.
He had a clip about.
although I will say when he did mention that he would watch. I would love to see a Joe Budden versus Eminem back and forth. Yeah. Because I think Joe...
You mean speaking?
No, rapping.
Rap battle.
I would love to see Joe, and I think Joe would watch him.
I don't think so.
You think... No,
I think Joe would watch him.
I think Joe would make Eminem step his game up.
Yeah.
You know.
It would definitely... Like, he'd be Eminem's hardest opponent in the industry.
But, you know, he got watched in the battle.
Which one?
When he had the
MGK?
No. Joe Budden got watched in the battle
with Drake.
No, that he had the.
Oh, you talking about the actual battle with
what was it called?
The battle where he actually went
he went up against dude
Hollow the Dawn, right?
Yeah,
he went to Hollow the Dawn.
So I had to, but I think he caught Joe off guard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it does take preparation. You can't just.
And see, I think what it was because the dude knew more about Joe.
Yeah, than Joe knew
knew more about him.
Yeah. The only reason why, Joe, I think one is because boy just stopped. He's like because Joe had that one charge, that domestic violence, and dude just stopped rapping, and he's like if you ever put a finger on a woman, he's like, I'll beat your fucking ass, and that it just stopped the battle, and it went bad.
That was a good battle.
it was definitely a good battle. That was one of my top ones. I mean, Hollow is one of my favorite battle rappers. I mean, just because his homage to Texas is so dope. But
all tied with that, with the lot of controversy,
trolling,
and they also has tied to 6ix9ine, Kanye West.
Yeah.
Kanye West stayed in the news all this year.
And still is in the news.
I mean,
crazy.
Most recently, with Jay on Meek's album talking about, he's like, don't Michael and Prince me and Ye, because the whole red hat issue.
Yeah.
To make America great again.
He clarified. He clarified.
He wasn't shooting a slug at him. He's just basically saying don't put us against each other just because we have different opinions.
Yeah.
He's like that, but it just brings back everybody's.
Do you think slavery was a choice?
Me?
Yeah, I mean, because right now, Shabir, you like slave now.
I see where that goes now. I definitely don't think.
Yeah, you said not happening.
You have Colonel Sanders hat on right now.
I definitely don't think it was a choice. I just can't see 400 years people making a choice to want to do some stupid shit.
But do you think that's what he... Okay, look. First of all, I don't think it's a choice. But I think Kanye's a deep thinker. So do you think what he meant was if we... as Black folks, if we would have changed our frame of thought and maybe kind of did a mental shift, that we could have somehow, I don't know, overcame it.
I think as they started progressing and they started educating themselves more, the ones that were able to read were actually able to read and able to formulate and articulate their words to bring the one together. Once they started, and that's when you started seeing the uprising.
Right.
So I think, it was just that they weren't given the tools to be able to educate themselves quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say you can't say 400 years is a choice when they don't have the way of being educated. They don't have the means to educate themselves.
Right.
So I would say if they were all educated and they just chose, I'm gonna get on this boat, I'm gonna go over to American. Okay, but they didn't.
Right.
I think that that Kanye West is a genius, a musical genius.
Of course, musical genius.
But I don't think he can articulate himself.
Exactly.
He's too scatterbrained. He speaks before he thinks.
Yeah, that's the whole problem.
Honestly, and that's a crazy mentality, an actual genius mentality. Because if you think about it, you think about some of the old geniuses. They're just so everywhere,
and that's what makes him a musical genius. But I mean, he's no Charlemagne. He's not. Yeah, he doesn't speak well. It's kind of like Lil Wayne. When Lil Wayne did the interview, and everything came out kind of crazy. When you don't speak well, everything sounds like that. So
maybe that's why he gets along with Trump.
Yeah,
because they just kind of.
And they speak without thinking.
Exactly.
Put their foot in their mouth.
Yeah.
He even said that's why he likes Trump because Trump kind of paved his own path,
right?
Does his own thing and doesn't care. And Kanye West is kind of like that. That's not that I agree or anything like that, but I try to understand.
Exactly.
Of course, you got to come from understanding.
That's why I brought up my comment as well. But going back to it, no, I don't believe slavery is a choice or was a choice.
If he and I think he meant more modern slavery than past slavery. But even with past slavery, if you think about Nat Turner, and Harriet Tubman, people who wasn't going to lay down, who was, hey, I'm either fighting to the death,
right,
or I'm whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But I think he meant more modern slavery.
Like with the labels, like the brands, and stuff like that.
But that's why you can't spew things out like that. You gotta
articulate your word. You gotta articulate your words.
And then we know the media is gonna take
their own samples of it.
They're gonna take that clip
and flip it. And okay, here we go. This is
but big shout out to the reporter that stood up and was like, "No."
The one from TMZ.
Oh yeah.
Van Jones. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Van Jones. I mean, I would have loved to seen him actually do the interview, like him interview Kanye and actually sit down because he ain't gonna let Ye just talk shit.
Well, and you can see it on his face when he got checked.
He got patched.
Because but a lot of times going back to celebrities kind of, being the gods, if you will, in the room, people allow them to talk however they want. But that Van just was like, no, I'm not checking for
you. He came from across the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Way over there.
Yeah. It's like, no.
He's like, hey, nah.
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on. Nah.
Yeah. I'm glad he stood up.
Yeah, I think Kanye means well. I think he has a good heart.
Yeah.
I just think, he recently came out and said that, he was basically being taken advantage of, and he said that, he's under medication.
Right.
So, and it goes back to what we was talking about earlier off camera about, Bill Cosby. Like people equate money with knowledge, with sexiness, with all these things. These people are regular people like you.
They're just
with just more money.
Yeah.
Right.
So money doesn't take away the problems.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Absolutely
If anything,
not.
it intensifies it.
Worse.
It intensifies.
Yeah, and
because
then
you got more people that are going to try to take advantage of you with that.
100%.
Bad late.
Yeah,
thank you.
Appreciate IQ in the background. You know what I'm saying? What's up for IQ?
I think that's the reason why a lot of us are still alive, because we can't afford the drugs that Michael Jackson
so funny.
The Prince and the Whitney Houston. We can't afford the exclusive drugs.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, crack is whack. But I would say...
I would know.
I wouldn't know. No, yeah, that's horrible.
Well, the industry had a very, I'll say this. One, musically, 2018, immaculate.
Yeah.
We've seen, crazy part is you've seen some great beefs throughout this past year. One of the biggest ones, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
Don't really know where it stems from. It's just, of course.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Wait. Y'all should not say that. Let me say it. Sometimes women can be catty. Yeah. Okay.
So, they both from New York City. They both very alpha females, just headstrong, and they both can rap their ass up.
I like Cardi B better than
I do too.
I like Cardi B's personality.
I do too. Because Cardi B's been Cardi B before Cardi B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you go back to when she was just a little Instagram person talking shit, she's still that same person just talking shit.
My wife would tell you that she used to watch Love and Hip Hop. So every time I talk about Cardi
Me too.
She's like, but I would hear her on Love and Hip Hop, and her voice would annoy me.
Yeah, her voice would annoy me.
But it wasn't just you know how they had them act on there when it's catty.
She was extra. She was extra.
Yeah, so when I would hear that and see that, I'm like, nah. But then when I would start seeing more of her actual personality,
right?
Yeah,
the little clips they would show of her talking about certain things, and just being a regular person, I was like, I like her.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time she played that clip of Bodak Yellow on Instagram. I said,
"She gonna be."
That's a start. And that's a start right there.
If you go back and listen to when we did on the podcast, when she first came out with Bodak Yellow, me, Norman, IQ, we all told Polo at the time, we was like, man, Cardi gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah.
And Polo straight looked at us and he said, Cardi ain't even gonna be here next summer. Next summer, they've been here.
We in the winter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Funny.
So Cardi gonna be here for a very long time.
I would check out her older stuff, and it wasn't great, but it's not bad at all.
No.
It's not bad at all.
But it's kind of like what we were saying about Blake. I mean, you gotta stew in your juices, and then eventually you'll marinate.
And that
it took that one hit, Bodak Yellow.
Yeah.
That Invasion of Privacy album. It's not a weak song on there.
No.
Yeah.
You can play it. They can put every song on the radio.
Yeah.
And just let it play.
And it'll work. It'll work.
So she had a good team, a good team of executive producers around her.
Yeah. But it don't seem like she has a good team of people around her, because wouldn't they have stopped the actual throwing up the shoe at that exclusive event.
But that's her. Like, that's her mentality. Like,
but don't you think she was okay? Like, when you have your team of friends around you, they'll hype you up. But if you have a educated, not educated, but educated in the streets, PR person, they'll calm you down.
But you got to stem where that part came from. Like, you talked once you mentioned me being a mother.
Oh yeah, well I'm a mama, so I get it.
Like I was about to say, imagine somebody telling you ain't a good mom.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you there. I believe that 100%. So I have 3 sisters, right? So I got the sister. I'll be like, you ain't gonna take that. You going out there? You take care of that. Then I have the other sister that's like, you know what, V, let's handle this right. This is not the right place. If she had the right people around her, she could have handled that better.
Yeah,
she really, because imagine her throwing that shoe and she would have hit somebody, another celebrity, and then she could have ended someo's career.
I think that that it was just so much build up.
Yeah.
They had been talking about the beef between her and Nicki, and they was downplaying it. And I think so much was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Cardi B really being from Cardi B's a blood.
From the streets.
She actually
really been from the streets.
Yeah.
She was stripping a couple of years ago. Yeah. She comes from a certain lifestyle. And I think that hip hop has embraced that. People coming from the streets.
Right.
Where it used to be a time where they would, the PR people, they was we got to mold you to something else, But now it's like people they like that.
They like that controversy.
They like that controversy.
But you're not going to see someone like I can't even.
She
think
almost
of
did mess up her bag though. I think
she could have messed it up.
She did like something got canceled from her. I don't remember what it was. Something did get canceled after that issue.
To throw this in real quick, Bad Baby lost a bag because of the situation with Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
She threw the water on her.
Right. But Iggy handled that right. Because Bad Baby, she's still, 15?
Yeah.
15. Still a kid.
About her age. She's been 15.
Yeah, for a long time, right? Because she's 15 on Dr. Phil. Yeah.
But going back to Cardi B, and the whole Nicki situation. Nicki is well established. She's not going nowhere, as far as being Nicki Minaj. But I think we need to. Well, I think the industry has already embraced Cardi B.
Yeah. Right.
I think Nicki needs to open that door all the way and embrace her.
Yeah. I do too, because I really don't like the fact that women. You see all these males in the industry, and they're not fighting and stuff, and then you have 2 top females. And honestly, usually, if I'm buying Cardi B stuff, Nicki might not be my cup of tea. Yeah. I think there's enough money for both of them. I like them both.
Yeah.
But I think there's money out there for both artists to get along. Yeah. And like you said, for Nicki to open that door for her. So I was disappointed, honestly, in both of them.
And, also with the whole beef, we talking about Drake.
Drake, Pusha T.
Yeah.
To me, that was the best battle of the year.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not a Drake fan.
Shame on you.
I'm not. I'm a well documented Aubrey Graham wheelchair Jimmy.
You are
hater.
So funny. I like Drake.
I don't like Drake. I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong. He makes great club records.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he makes, and that's the thing. Like he's a club hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. But when he finally responded and he took a response and he responded to Push, I was like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Now, the one thing, you know what I'm saying? Just because like Pusha T is like one of my favorite artists.
Okay, I'm with you.
So the fact that, you know what I'm saying, like Push has been poking that pot, you know what I'm saying? Dating back to back with the Clips, what's the song he did? They was just some Birdman back in the day. Like, I mean, he's been going at them like, what happened to that boy?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That was towards Wayne and Birdman.
Well, they was on that song.
Yeah, but like, he was talking about them though. Oh. Like, they on that thing, like, and so they just kept going back and forth. And then, you know what I'm saying, Push dropped Exodus.
Exodus. That was a song that he really started calling.
Yeah, so that's when he's like you signed a.
See, I didn't like that beat though because Drake didn't respond when we was waiting for a back and forth, back and forth.
What made me mad
it was cut short.
Yeah,
like that's what thing I was like I was proud. Like I had hit one of my homeboys up and I was like man I was like fuck Drake because you know what I'm saying strictly because I was promised a cold summer and Drake didn't respond. I was like, he got his ass handed to him, and all he did was respond with a PR statement. And that's how I knew Pusha won, because Drake ain't never did no PR statements for nothing. He had to do a PR statement to cover up blackface.
It was a good thing because it's kind of like the slam dunk competition in the NBA. You want to see the stars, come out. You know, you don't want to see the guys you never heard of. Even though they do well. Yeah. You know, you want to see the LeBrons and the Kobe's and the Michael Jordans. Exactly. So in that case, with Drake coming back and dissing Pusha T, it was like okay. Even though we had seen it with Meek Mill, it was like, you know, but
I think what happened with Meek, and I like, this is my personal take. What happened with the whole Meek and Drake situation? Meek messed up by doing it because, one, he knew he was about to be on a big ass tour. And when you're on tour, it ain't easy to just get to the studio. Right. It's not your tour, so you can't just bring whoever you want on the tour. So you can't just travel with your engineer and your producers. So, of course, unless you coming out your own pocket to pay for them to come out, you ain't getting money like that. Now, if it's your own tour, generally, if it's your tour, your label is going to put money behind it, so you can bring your engineers and all that with you. So you can have a traveling studio. So he didn't have his engineer. So when Drake hit him with that back-to-back, you ain't coming back. Yeah. He just hit you with 2 club records. Yeah. And he got your one taken down because you used that Undertaker sample. Yeah. So he got your shit taken down. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, one thing I will say, I'm definitely glad to see Drake and Meek, you know what I'm saying, squash their shit.
Yeah. Drake was squashing all his beefs. I don't think he ever squashed it for the T beef, but
I don't think he
squashed the beef with Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's making power moves. I think those are all calculated power moves.
You have to, because at the end of the day, it starts getting violent because it's the people outside of the circle that take it more seriously, and that's where death comes in. It's so silly.
Especially where some of them got some real street people behind them. Like,
I don't even look at it like that for Drake. I look at it as, you know, Drake is their camp is smart musically, business wise.
That engine behind Drake is
ridiculous.
If you heard the new Meek album, I think that, you know, he's probably passing that knowledge on the Meek. Like, look, you know, you can stay in the game longer by doing X, Y, Z. You know, because that Meek album
is top 5 this year.
It's one of the best albums I've heard. His last album was good too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it definitely was. Yeah,
it was good too.
It got overshadowed with the whole Drake and Meek beef. So I definitely feel, you know what I'm saying, like that's, and when we get back together, I definitely, you know what I'm saying, we'll have a good year in review on as far as music.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would love to give some of the local artists some tips to maybe show how they can have a long life in this industry as well. I think that's important, really important.
And I'm glad we was able to get together. We gonna keep this going. It's your boy AP.
It's your boy JBoi, new Illuminati zone.
And your girl Valencia.
Yeah. Appreciate you.